guys, Angela here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another Sunday chat. Yes, we have new hair. I've worked out in it a couple days, so it's lost some of its luster, but I did get a new haircut. Anyway, this video is not about my hair. This video is about my bingo vision board. So this is a very impromptu video. I did this activity with my friends last night and I was like, I have to make a video and to talk about this because I enjoyed it so much. As you can see, my vision board is not complete because I got so into, like, I'm not an artist, right? I got so into like drawing pictures and decorating each of the little boxes for the things that I want to accomplish in the year that I looked up and the 3 hours had passed and I still had a bunch of boxes to fill in. Also, I didn't have 24 things that I wanted to accomplish for the year listed out. So I am going to have to sit down and really think about the other things that I am going to put in the rest of these boxes. So I don't know, maybe you all have heard of it. I don't know where I've been because once my friend invited me, I started looking it up and it's like all the rage. You can find it on YouTube, you can find people doing it on TikTok. I asked people on my TikTok if they had heard of it or if they had done it, and there were people that was like, oh yeah, I did one. I'm like, where have I been? Anyway, essentially what you do is you create a bingo board. So you make 5 rows down and then, or 5 rows down and then 5 rows across. So essentially it gives you 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, yes, 25 like sections, just like a bingo board, and you get a freebie, which is going to be your birthday, like smack dab in the middle of the board. And essentially what you do is you list 24 goals that you want to accomplish in the year and you play bingo, right? As you accomplish one, you exit out and you get bingo, bingo, bingo. But you know how you like play bingo. And I thought that was a really cool way to approach like goal setting and vision boarding, which I am not a fan of vision boarding. It's just, you know, cutting pictures out, gluing it on a board, whatever the case may be. It sort of gets redundant, but I feel like this is a very like cool way to keep it fun and interesting, like year after year. And I feel like this activity really played into one of my goals that I've talked about in a Sunday chat before, which is being more analog, which is like touching pen and paper more. Like I enjoyed this so much. I didn't even vlog it for this week's or next week's vlog because the minute I picked up this piece of paper, markers, color pencils, a pencil to like draw, rulers to like etch out the boxes, I was like so locked in and focused that I didn't even think to take my phone out of my purse or my camera out of my purse. Like I didn't think about my electronic things. I was literally locked in, so locked in that I didn't get all of my boxes filled because I was trying to draw. I'm not the most like artistic person in this way, and so I really had to focus to draw the funny looking things that I drew on here anyway. So the activity in and of itself was really in line with one of the goals that I have, which is to be more analog, use pen and paper more. Speaking of, just a quick update on my like planner ecosystem. If you didn't see that video, I have an ecosystem of Moleskine notebooks that I have been using. I love Moleskine. I've always used Moleskine. So when I was thinking about like creating a little ecosystem, I knew that I was going to use these books because I've kind of always bought these. So anyway, this book I had before the year. It's just my junk book. I carry it with me everywhere. So of course I've continued to use this up. I'm gonna have to get a new one. Well, no, I still have a good ways. I should be able to use this for the rest of the year. If I use like front back pages, my daily planner, I really have been utilizing it. I just keep it set out on my table next to my work computer, next to my personal computer. So I'll remember to like do all the things. I've been really good about jotting down things that I need to do, checking them off the list. So I've been using this. I'm really proud of myself on this one. My annotation book for the books that I read. I am now annotating my thoughts, feelings, all of those things in this book. I just did a book haul, or I just got in some books I did in a book haul this week. I ordered 4 new books. You'll see those in the vlog for next week. And this is what I use to jot my notes down in. And so I just started a new book and so I pulled her out so I can write alongside the book. And then my junk journal of sorts, like my journal source. I haven't written anything in it since I went to the Elizabeth Catlett exhibit. So I'm really excited actually to transfer some of this into my junk book. I am just going to list out all 24 goals in that book, and then I'm going to transfer some of my little drawings and stuff from here. I'm going to try to replicate them into my junk journal just so I'll have it as a record too, because I can't promise that this is going to like stay out around my apartment. I can't promise that. So I'm going to, it don't go with the vibe, girl. So I'm going to transfer it into this book so it'll be nice and kept in my little junk journal. But I wanted to go through some of the things that I have on here, and then some of the things that I want to add. I don't have all 24 of them just yet, but I have a couple more that I thought of this morning that I want to add on. I am actually going to put in an order today for some color pencil. I've been wanting some color pencils anyway, just for like my junk journaling. I have some like colorful pens that I've been using, but I wanted to get color pencils as well. I'm gonna get some markers and some actual pencils, like pencils. So I'm gonna order some stuff to finish this and to also use in the junk journal. But I wanted to show y'all some of the stuff that I put on here. So like I said, it's like a bingo board. So I left some space at the top. You write out bingo, right? So there's a letter for each slot going down, and then you do the 5 rows across, and then you do 5 rows down, and then you put your freebie, which is going to be your birthday, in the middle. For my freebie, I tried to draw a New Orleans saint symbol. Again, I am not artistic in that way, but you know, I looked at some pictures on Google and I just tried to like follow what I saw, and I just put solo trip and then the number 42 in the middle of that, because I have already planned my birthday. I will be going to New Orleans on a solo trip, so I thought that was apropos to put for my freebie, because I know that that's happening. Everything is booked. In the top right corner, I have what is supposed to be it's a fat microphone. It looked like one of those microphones we used to play with when we were like kids. But it's a microphone. One of my goals is to get speaking opportunities. I do have a degree in speech comm, and something that I've always wanted to do is do public speaking outside of my corporate role in training and instructional design on topics that I actually care about, like social commentary and things like that. And so I drew the little microphone, and then I have things like hosting, podcast guest, correspondent, moderate, panel discussion. So I wrote a bunch of like words of things that I would want to do in the public speaking space. Here I have some lips, because I want to kiss a new boy in 2026. I do not intentionally date. I just don't. I like to let dating like happen. Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I mean, I'm still very much that way, but I would like to kiss a new boy this year. So I drew some red lips, because y'all know red is my color. This one I drew some puzzle pieces, or what are supposed to be puzzle pieces, and that is just like to symbolize connection for brand partnerships. So I would like to start doing brand partnerships this year, meaningful brand partnerships. So I put that on the board as well. Here is a little wonky pen. I thought about trying to draw a laptop, but we're going analog this year, so I drew a pen as a symbol to complete my book, the manuscript for my book. I just wrote billionaire contract here because I don't have a title for it, and then I just put Finn at the bottom because I want to finish that. Swimming lessons, that may get on the list every year. This year it's happening. I also drew a little book here, and this just symbolizes my desire to read at least 2 books a month, 24 books for the entire year. And I just wrote, you know, 12 for 12 months, and that I can like X them out as I make my 2 book a month goal. I drew some coconuts. This is the one I'm most proud of. those look like coconuts. I drew coconuts because I would like to do a Caribbean vacation. If you know me, you know that I'm not much of like a Caribbean water person. When I travel, I like to go to a city. I like to be in the hustle and bustle, but I want to make sure that I'm relaxing and, you know, taking it easy, as well as like working on all these goals. And to me, it ain't nothing to do for real on a Caribbean vacation but to rest. And so I think for my vacation over the holiday season, I want to make it a Caribbean one where I just like rest and recharge for the new year ahead. I have just this chart to symbolize growth with an arrow up, and I really want to work on growing on Instagram and YouTube this year. As much as Instagram, me, I know that it's important for goals like this one here, public speaking and brand partnerships. It's an important catalyst to that, so I know that I am going to have to utilize Instagram. So I want to get better at that and also grow on YouTube. I sure in the hell did draw my Bottega hop bag, large specifically in brown. I drew a Bottega hop bag because I want this bag. I really want to get to a point where I can comfortably treat myself to this bag this year, and so I put it on here. I drew a pseudo Portuguese flag because for my summer vacation I want to go to Portugal, so I just drew a pseudo flag there. Linktree Atelier, the glassware like e-commerce like micro brand that I want to start, I really want to work on learning how to source like vintage or like thrifted glassware to start off the business, start off like a resale like arm of the business, sort of get my feet wet in that before I start trying to design my own glassware. And so I really want to start working on that this year. So I drew a little martini glass, did a little red and green to represent an olive. I have a little fake plane ticket down here that I found on Google and tried to replicate, but essentially in there I have brand trip like written on there. I would love to like be invited on my first brand trip, big or small, even to just be like flown out by a brand to do some work. So that is on the board. This is my, I had to put one on there that's like a crazy goal, and that is to be debt free by way of my student loans. I don't have any like consumer debt, house debt, car debt, any of that type of debt. The only debt that I have is my student loan debt, and girl, I would have to get a brand deal so big, so enormous, but who knows? Who knows? I could have my Jules LeBron moment. I could have my like super blow up moment this year that like makes me so much money in a short amount of time that I'm able to pay that off. Never say never. And then I did a little pot of gold to represent the fact that I want to save at least $10,000 this year. Y'all see my little pot of gold? That's super cute. Anyway, so those are the things that I was able to draw within the 3 hours that we were there at the party. Some additional things that I know I want to add on here is a pair of diamond stud earrings, like fine jewelry, real diamond studs, maybe a carat. So I'm going to draw that on there for sure. And then I also want to draw probably like some sort of like healthcare symbol. Right now I work in healthcare, but some sort of like nonprofit healthcare symbol with wings on it to represent my desire to move out of the nonprofit education healthcare space. I have been working within that space for the last for the last 8 years or so in an attempt to get the public service loan forgiveness. But with this current administration, like, they haven't canceled the public service loan forgiveness, but all of the hubbub that's going on with the student loan process, it has really brought back, I'm going back to an idea that I had last year, where I was thinking about giving up the opportunity to have my loans forgiven through the public service loan forgiveness plan, even though I have been working for 8 years at this point towards that, and I would only have 2 more technically, but because I've been in forbearance because of the government for the last 2 years, I'm still in forbearance. I could come out of forbearance and start back paying my loans and start back counting towards forgiveness, but I'm already pushed back a couple years anyway. So my student loans are still in forbearance, and the last letter I got, they were like, you have until January 2027 to submit your income information and get on a new plan and start paying your student loans. I know there are a bunch of people that are like being reported to collections. I don't know how some people got kicked out of forbearance and ended up having to pay. I wasn't one of those people. I'm one of those people that are still in forbearance. I check every month. And like I said, probably the fiscally responsible thing, honestly, y'all, would be to come out of forbearance, start paying on it, because it's just sitting there. Now, it is accruing interest. Again, it has started back accruing interest, but honestly, I'm just like, no. I'm just like, no. But I'm really trying to think about, like, do I want to continue working under my earning potential in order to try to get this student loan paid off? Now, instead of in the next 2 years, it would be the next 3.5, maybe 4 years, right? Depending on how they count the downtime for like things being in forbearance and stuff like that. So I could be looking at 2030. And I just don't know if I want to continue working under my earning potential, chasing after this loan forgiveness, or if I want to take a chance on myself with brand partnerships and some of the other things that I have on this board as a possible catalyst to get those loans paid off and move into an industry that, one, you know, I enjoy. I enjoy my job, but I'm not passionate about the work that I'm doing, and not because the work that my company does isn't important. It is extremely, it don't get no more important than that. It's just what I'm contributing to the work. It doesn't feel meaningful for me, even though I know it is. It's one of the cogs in the wheel, but I want to do something where I can see and feel and touch how meaningful it is. I also feel like that's why I'm so disconnected from my career and like even the idea of like growth and things like that. Not that I'm gonna go and want to like climb the corporate ladder, but at least be more connected to the work that I do every day, because it is not my like on my goal list to like quit my job unless these opportunities are just so great that it makes sense to do so. So I do plan on still working a regular 9 to 5, but I am going back and forth between, do I start seeking opportunities outside of the nonprofit public sector spaces that I have been working in for the last almost decade, trying to get these student loans paid off, and I can make more money now to put it towards things like my book, like Linger Atelier, that could be a catalyst within the next 4 years to get these loans paid off anyway. And so that was a long way of saying I'm going to draw some sort of like nonprofit symbol, healthcare symbol, public service symbol with some wings on it to symbolize death to that part of my life. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares that I need to fill in. I just gave you 2 additional ones, so I still have 8 more things that I need to noodle on, think about, and then add here. So stay tuned to the vlogs. I'll likely finish this not in the vlog that comes out next week, but the week after. This will likely be a part of that vlog, and I'll keep y'all updated. But I just wanted to share that with you. If you were looking for a way to sort of like list out your goals but make it like something that you can feel and like really enjoy doing, put your fingers on, really want to reference back to, I think this is a really cool way to do it. I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to share that with y'all. So that's it for this week's Sunday chat. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All of the links, all of the things to all of the socials are in the description box below, and I will talk to y'all in next week's video. Bye.